Raila Amolo Odinga is the people's president. Like it or not, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Neil Stolbert Achayo, coming live to you from Kazuri Media TV. This great Sunday, I want to bring to you great news from Kenya. We've had a very, very intrinsic week. Politics, demonstrations, people coming out to share on their thoughts on the new government, broad-based government. Ladies and gentlemen, my opinion, your opinion matters at Kazuri TV. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. If you haven't subscribed, remember to subscribe, like, and share. And don't shy away from posting your comment down there. Gentlemen, it has all come clear that Raila Amolo Odinga is the people's president. Like it or not, Raila Amolo Odinga is the people's president. He speaks the language of the people. Many will say Raila has betrayed the Gen Z. No, the Gen Z are very happy, and you can clearly see. There are things you can't hide. If somebody betrays his people, it will show. If Raila Odinga betrayed the Gen Z will have revolted. Kwani who is Raila Odinga so that he can betray that team that went to and got to parliament and they don't come out to speak? Kwani amewafunga na kamba pahali? Hapana. Hawa ni watu wenye wanajua Raila, wanaongea lugha ya Raila, na baba akasema let's dialogue. And because he's the people's president and it's the people who are demonstrating, they've listened to their president. And that is why if you watch the Nane demonstration, it was a no-show because the Gen Z stayed back at home. Yes, a few came out. And if you were keen, when we had the mother of Gen Z demonstration on the 25th, 3 out of 5 Gen Zs belong to the school of Raila Odinga. One was coming from Githurai, and the other one was attracted through X. So when Raila Odinga said, let's go back home and dialogue, 3 automatically went. We were left with 2. The one from Githurai came nusu-nusu. The one from X came nusu-nusu. And if you want to be sure that I'm telling you the truth, watch the next demonstration if it's called. Hata yule Githurai atakuja. Na yule wa X will be very busy doing other things. And the people already at home waiting for dialogue. I can see some leaders from Kenya Kwanza, led by Honorable Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, Jeremiah Kioni, our DAP party leader, Eugene Wamalwa, complaining and saying that you are either with the Gen Z or you are with Zakayo. But do not run and hide behind the Gen Z. There is no way we can start defining ourselves in terms of being with Gen Z and being with Zakayo. And the same people at some point they say they want a united Kenya. If you want a united Kenya, who are you uniting if not everybody? And if you unite all Kenyans, then unite William Ruto too. So it is time we all came out clean as Kenyans and give credit where it's deserved. Raila Odinga has shown great love for this country. Very selfless leader. To an extent, people who don't understand might even end up calling him selfish. When the country is at the brink, what wanasema to Toe Ruto, to Pigane, 3/4 of them have never been part of it. Lini uliona Eugene Wamalwa akifanya demonstrations Kenya hii for change? Lini uliona Kalonzo Musyoka akifanya? Naweza sikiza Orengo. When Orengo comes out and says Gen Z must be listened to, Gen Z must be heard, we can feel him because he started doing this struggle as a Gen Z and he feels the Gen Z. But he's also talking about dialogue with the Gen Z because he clearly knows all that good effort made by Gen Z has to be complemented. It has to terminate at some point. And where does it terminate? It doesn't terminate on the streets. It has to go into some setting whereby everything the Gen Z are saying can be listened. We even have Gen Z who are out there and never read the finance bill. They only came out to support their peers. It's on the dialogue table that they will be able to be part of this conversation fully, not running around Kenya police. At a time, the people's president, who we all know, when did it change? When did Raila stop being the people's president? Or when did Raila stop being the person who champions for the rights of these citizens, the citizens of this country? It didn't change at any point. Coming out to be seen with William Samoei Ruto does not mean he has changed. Even today, we know His Excellency Paranya said he was called to help the government. And for that, the president must listen. What is the president supposed to listen to? The president is supposed to listen to the call of the Gen Z, which is being represented by Wycliffe Ambetsa Paranya. How is he doing this? It's through the same Raila Amolo Odinga. The Gen Z were even very particular when they started the demonstration. Baba ka nyumbani. Why did they say Baba ka nyumbani? They knew he's part of them. They knew they're speaking his language. They knew they're taking his job. And because he's done it for them and they believe in him, they asked him to stay at home so that they could do it. They came out and did it. And when Baba said, now, sasa nyinyi pia endeni nyumbani, tufanye dialogue, they embraced it. And you do not need to see any sign. You have to just see the streets of Nairobi the other day, and you can realize we were shown one of our own young man, Casmuel Mark Oure. The whole day, there was no other clip on the demonstration, apart from every media house following Casmuel Oure, because he was the only one out there still agitating for the change that we all want. We want that change. The change that the Gen Z are agitating for, we all want it. But it has to come in a manner that you can appreciate. Kenyans are talking about a 360 degrees revolution. Yes, it's possible, but it has to be led in a manner that there will be peace and tranquility in this country. In a manner that tomorrow we'll be able to wake up and still have Kenya. But if we throw it to a leaderless, a partyless group, which is very amorphous, and say, okay, they're the ones who are going to liberate Kenyans. And then we have non-starters who now want to say, ukona Gen Z au kuna Zakayo. Those will lead you, they mislead you because they've never even been in this struggle hugely. The only time they've been seen as part of the struggle is when they were moving behind Raila Amolo Odinga. So they should stop and ask themselves, Raila Amolo Odinga, you've been leading us, you've been at the front. What can you see at the front? So that they come from the back knowing where they're going to. But if you listen to them, they're going to lead Gen Z into a pit. The moment this country burns, the moment the investors run away, it's the Gen Zs who will be in the pit. With them, they're old. Kalonzo is old. He might have good genes and confuse you ukafikiri ni miaka 45. But he's old. Baba appreciates that this country needs to move on with all the challenges we have in it. Nyumba yenu ikiwa na shida, you do not destroy it. You see? You'll hear people like Boniface Mwangi castigating His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga for uh, allowing ODM members to join the cabinet, and now saying that they've gone in there to steal with William Ruto. No, we can't speak from both sides of the mouth. On one side, we are saying, well, you are one Kenya. On the other side, we are saying we don't want a broad-based government. Then how is the one? Where's the oneness in it? A broad-based government is necessary. We should have had it from the word go. And after every election, we should have a broad-based government. And it can either show in two ways. The popular party wins and it's allowed to lead, or the less popular party steals the election, then realizes that they cannot lead without the other party. And when that happens, and the sense checks in, we don't fight and kill each other because of that. Raila is very, very selfless. He'll never follow you and say, because William Ruto stole my election, so let's ban the country. So let's go into State House and invade State House. Imagine 1 million people in State House. Will we have a State House after the demonstration? They're going to destroy that place. Yes, it can happen. When that is the last resort, let it happen as a last resort. But not when we have a fatherly figure that, like Raila Amolo Odinga, who is able to come, walk to the president, tell him what the people want, and the president is able to listen. And you're able to see him take action. So what I call upon the Gen Z and everybody who loves Kenya to do is let's heighten our roles as watchdogs, and we are able to keep the team in office on check. Make sure they're performing. Let's bring the changes that we want through the clear avenues that have been put for us. The window for dialogue is still on. Let's use that window. And if we're able to come together, we rally behind His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, we rally behind His Excellency William Ruto, we call in everybody, Kalonzo Musyoka, and let's not forget Gachagua. I love Gachagua for one thing. He has decided it is people from the mountain. And that is where it's set. Is this a certain region will have to grow because Gachagua has decided he's going to fight for them. We only call upon them to come clean. Come clean and let's move as a country. No daggers behind the back. Whether you're from the mountain, whether you're from the lake, let's come together and build one Kenya. Let's dialogue. I still call for dialogue. Dialogue is very, very important for our country so that we're able to move together and build this country. If we let the country go down in the name of Gen Z, I'm so certain these people who are calling on Gen Z will run away from the Gen Z. Because the Gen Z are even faceless. How will they identify with them? So msidanganye Gen Z. Gen Z washasikiza baba, wamerudi nyumbani. Let them prepare for dialogue. That is the only solution for this country. Meanwhile, if you didn't subscribe, kindly subscribe. This is Kazuri Media.
We are rolling. So 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
When you walk on the streets and you see somebody driving a car, you're wondering why this car is 500,000 and the other car is 5 million. The same applies to houses. This week we were shown Jimmy Wajigi walk into his house, and the police came hot on their heels and they were unable to find him. So once you have the resources, there are things that you can do to make sure you're safe in your own house. Don't just put doors. From a security background, I wish to tell you, Jimmy Wanjigi is not a wizard. Jimmy Wanjigi si mchawi, atakuwa na mapepo anapotea kwa nyumba. There's something we call a panic room. This is a room whereby it's so camouflaged, you can never tell where the person goes into, and it will take very, very keen eyes and exposure for you to be able to tell the entrance to a panic room. So Jimmy Wanjigi, thank you very much for making sure you're safe when you're home. And we still see the love of Raila Amolo Odinga. Raila Amolo Odinga decided to visit Jimmy Wanjigi. And we all know Jimmy Wanjigi was on the streets demonstrating with Gen Z. So those people who say Baba is not with the Gen Z, or Baba is against anybody who goes out there to demonstrate, are pure liars. They want to create something that is not there. Baba is a selfless Kenyan, na ni baba wa kila mtu. But you always, as a leader, you must do the right thing at the right time. Maybe it was not right for Baba to be on the street with Jimmy Wanjigi to demonstrate, because he's already called for dialogue, and that's the best way to go. But it doesn't mean that he's not with Jimmy Wanjigi. Yendo Baba, he still went there to show that he is with Jimmy Wanjigi. He showed his concern. Jimmy Wanjigi was able to communicate to Baba that which is relevant, and Baba appreciated everything and stood in with Jimmy Wanjigi. And that's the kind of leadership you want. You see? So it's not about Baba being Baba is not an automaton. What we used to call kitambo band moja. Hapana. Baba ni Baba. There's that little girl who is your child. The way you treat him might be different from the way you treat your firstborn, but at the end of the day, you must make sure everybody is in one basket, which we call Kenya. And you guys must remember, the whole of Africa expects a leader in the AUC. And that leader definitely is going to be Baba. You see, you saw the lady from Somali who had shown interest in the seat coming to Kenya to say she will no longer go for that seat and is supporting Baba's candidature. This doesn't come from nowhere. And today, if you put in Baba's shoes, some people will collapse. I'm afraid if in the absence of Baba and Kalonzo Musyoka tries to wear those shoes, he might get a heart attack. If Jeremiah Kioni tries to wear that shoe, he'll get a heart attack. You see? So nobody can wear Baba's shoe. Ladies and gentlemen, those who are saying that His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga has been played, used by President Ruto, are in some serious dreamland. We've heard about this thing before. In 1997, we had people say the cock has swallowed the tractor when Baba had a cooperation agreement with the late President Daniel Arap Moi. At the end of the day, it turned out to be the opposite. The same people said the tractor rode in the cock and it killed the cock in 202. Same people thought that Baba was going to be nowhere. At that time, Kibaki, Honorable Gilu, and Honorable Wamalwa had formed their own party, and Baba was still in Kanu. They were shocked when Baba said Kibaki Tosha, and the whole country said Kibaki Tosha. Fortunately or unfortunately, Kibaki had an accident and could not manage to campaign. Baba carried the whole campaign. He didn't even try to play Kibaki. If Raila Amolo Odinga was a selfish person, the state in which President Kibaki was in, it could have taken advantage. There's no point, and everybody can bear me witness, that there's no point Baba tried to shortchange Kibaki out of his unfortunate state. So what does that tell you? He's a statesman. He's a leader that can be trusted. You see? And when Baba had an handshake with the Uhuru Kenyatta, the same people said Baba had betrayed them. But no, it was for the love of country. This country needed to move on. We've never seen what goes on in Congo. Kenyans cannot even go hungry for 2 days. I see a place like Mombasa, ikifungwa tu hapa Voi, there's nothing coming into Mombasa. People will go hungry because there's no shamba in Mombasa. Everything that is used in Mombasa comes from somewhere out of Mombasa. So, as much as we want to fight for change, we must be able to take a good look at our country and ask ourselves where the fight will get us to. Will it help us gain more, or will it destroy us more? Now, looking at it again, we are now in 2024, and Baba has allowed his own lieutenants from the ODM party to join government. These people who have joined government are brilliant brains, very brilliant brains. Talk to John Badi and you'll see that person who suits the treasury. When you go to energy and you meet Opio Wandai, perfect. Come to mining, 001, a performer, and go to Oparanya. You're talking about your cooperatives, this guy is able to take care of your cooperatives. So basically, and do not forget a school, Madam, a school from Turkana, Mtia Lokichar. Serious performer. Those who met her, personally have met her in Lokichar, and she is a performer. So definitely out of their background, Ruto has been given the best he could get in this country. And I believe they will perform. And Oparanya has even said it today. They're not going in there to be yes men. The president must listen. And if the president cannot listen, Honorable Oparanya was very clear. He'll rather go back to the village in Kakamega and be with these people than to be at NSF building doing nothing. So the CSS from ODM are serious performers, and we're looking forward to change that will come with them. So Kenya, brace yourself for a better Kenya as we continue with the struggle. This does not stop the struggle. And Raila Amolo Odinga has not said that Kenyans must stop the struggle to have a better country. He has allowed it. And that's why you were seeing Jimmy Wanjigi, who was demonstrating during the day and was attacked in the night. If he was for government and is blindly supporting government, or Zakayo as is well known, then he had no business with somebody who was demonstrating against Zakayo in the day. But Baba is supporting Kenya. When Jimmy Wanjigi goes to voice up for Kenyans in the day and is attacked in the night, who does he call? Baba. Hate your father, love him, is your father. There's nobody who came out here and said, you call Baba, Raila Amolo Odinga, Baba. No, it came out from Kenyans. It came out to be the father of this nation. And he'll remain the father of this nation till the day maybe changes and does not stand for what this nation stands for. But as it is now, Raila Amolo Odinga is the voice of the people, Gen Z included.
So which manifesto are they going to use? The Azimio one or the ODM one or the Ruto one? Now that the finance bill was dropped.
Yes, people asking which manifesto will be used in government now that we have ODM cabinet secretary drawn from the opposition, basically members of the Orange Democratic Movement, and we also know very well it's a Kenya Kwanza government. So there's the story of which manifesto will be used. I must say it's a broad government, broad-based government. That will apply to the manifesto. The manifesto will be also a broad-based manifesto. That is why the Orange Democratic Movement, the members drawn from the Orange Democratic Movement are asking the president to listen, because they clearly know they're coming with a manifesto that was not part of Kenya Kwanza. And that's where they need the ear of the president, so that he's able to listen to the people's manifesto. Because the Azimio manifesto was the people's manifesto.
And what do you think is in this what they call the dialogue?
The dialogue is all about bringing on table that which the Gen Z came out to fight for, and that which Kenyans as a whole want. It's not about the grievances that come from yesterday. We have historical grievances. We have changes that we've called for from 1963, and they've never happened. You see, we said our founding fathers said that our hugest enemy is illiteracy, hunger. So we still have issues with literacy. And when I say literacy, I'm talking about ability to afford education, because generally Kenyans are literate, but our ability to afford education is a challenge, because when you go to a place and you find children who cannot afford secondary education or even primary education, because their parents do not have a job and cannot afford to pay school fees, then at the end of the day, you realize that it still goes into our literacy levels, because when the children don't go to school, it affects our literacy levels. So that's it.